Start. Senator Green, what's the biggest thing that got passed this year?
Well, I think the most controversial thing that was passed was right to work. And I think it's a fallacy to think right to work is the reasons jobs are not coming to the state of Missouri. There's 4 economic development variables in any reason a business comes. It's energy cost, educated workforce, infrastructure, and incentives. If you look at the last several incentive packages is what brought business to Missouri. The GM Ford tax incentives, where we gave Ford about $800 million in incentives, GM $300 million, up to $500 million. The special session with Boeing, local taxes and state incentives was close to $1 billion. They commit to it. The issue is not right to work, and we continue to see this division in the Missouri General Assembly dealing with right to work. All right to work does is it takes away an employer's choice to have a union security clause.
Yeah, what about, Dueker, what about the employers that are here? Maybe they, why is the government messing with their...
That is what it really astounds me, is that, name me the list of companies that were calling for this. Missouri's employers were not calling for this. This is a solution without a problem.
Can the government create jobs, really? I mean, as an employer myself, please stop helping me. You have these W-2 legislators that want to pass laws.
But that's not a right to work issue, because what you're doing is you're interfering with a private contract. That's not,
with
has
another
nothing
law.
to do. And so, I don't understand it, and it's not going to be law. So we did this whole rigmarole and this whole cosmetic exercise for something that's going to be vetoed. It's not going to be overridden. And what didn't get done because we did this dance, because a few people want to go back to their district and say, I got it out of the Senate. There isn't normal citizens don't care that you got to vote on something if it doesn't become law and it doesn't affect their lives. So when I think about how much time, energy, you've shut down the Senate because of this, you've ruined the decorum in the Senate, which did not need any help. And so here we are with something that's never going to become law, at least right now. So, I have a little frustration of everything that didn't get done because we had to do this cosmetic dance that isn't gonna, so no transportation, very little on education, very little on economic development. Healthcare, I mean, we're still not doing Medicaid expansion, which would be some of the best economic development the state could ever see. And so all of that didn't get done because we had to do this dance.
Steve Tilley, you work on the issue, but I'm just a simple hillbilly from Butler County. However, the last time some big politician said, I'm going to come help you deal with your employees, they handed me something called Obamacare, and I wish I could hand it back.
Sure. It's really a unique issue because I'm proud to be a Republican. I like less government involvement in people's lives and in their business. I like legal reform. I like lower taxes. This issue is not a conservative issue. This is government saying, we're going to tell you how you handle a contract negotiation between employer and employee. This bill that they passed had a private cause of action, which now creates more lawsuits. Right. So here's the problem, and it's the honest problem. Republicans have a distrust of unions, rightfully so, because unions have typically always supported Democrats. So when a Republican comes into the House, I think very few of them really know the mechanics of right to work, but they're initially for it because the other people were against me, so I'm going to be for it. I wish every rep and senator would take the time to really say, is this a conservative issue? Now, if they look at the issue and say, does government telling an employer how they handle their business, if that's conservative, then vote for it. But if it's not, don't vote for it. That's a message we've got to get out there. It's a tough message. It's not going to become law. I agree with Tim. I agree with Jane. But we need to be better at getting that message across, because when you've got a supermajority in the House and supermajority in the Senate, and they think it's okay to increase lawsuits, to get involved in a contract negotiation between employer and employee, we've lost the message battle. We need to get that back, and we need to do it, and it's going to take some time. We're going to get there, but right to work is anything but a conservative issue. And the people that go around the state say, we need worker freedom. We already have it. In my business, when you work for me, I tell you the parameters by which you're going to work. You're going to come in at this time. You're going to wear a uniform.
No one makes you work there.
No one makes you work there. If you feel like coming to work for me is not suitable, you have worker freedom to go work somewhere else. But if an employer wants to have all union workforce, that employer should have that right.
Absolutely.
It's their business. This is not a conservative issue. And I don't see how anybody can look at the bill that they just passed, which increases lawsuits, which increases government intrusion into people's lives.
He is